Alright, this is going to be the Hoth Battle tutorial. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to take a shop trip where you're going to grab infinite torpedoes and vehicle smart bomb. Both of these are very, very essential for episode 5. In this shop trip, you want to go left just 2 over to infinite torpedoes and then keep going left to get to vehicle smart bomb. It is a little bit of a faster route in the shop. After this shop trip, you are going to head into the Hoth door. So as the level opens, the first thing you want to do is shoot this ATST that is right here and grab the bomb. If you don't shoot the ATST, it's very, very likely that you will grapple onto him. And as you're grabbing the bomb, generally just shoot in front of you. Try to make sure you're not getting hit too much, although there is a power-up in the next room if it does come down to it. But you're just going to throw this bomb into the left side of the door and stay on the right, just so that you can avoid the explosion that the bomb is going to make. Once you're in the second room, you can shoot the metal rocks and grab the power-up if you need to, but that's usually not necessary. However, that is just a better line to get over to the first barrier. So for first barrier skip, you want to line up basically directly with the barrier pointing right, and then you want to turn back a little bit until you're at around a 45-degree angle, I would say. Then you want to do a flip and call in player 2 at the peak of the flip, pretty similar to how you do it in Gunship. And your player 2 should just be on top of the barrier. You're just going to hold forward. You might need to hold left depending on which direction they are facing. You're going to drop out player 1, and depending on the control setup you're on, doesn't really matter. You want to do the extras menuing when you're dropping out player 1. And then I highly recommend using player 2 to then go ahead and do second barrier skip. It's pretty simple, but if you want, you can call player 1 back in right after. But if you are on controller, you're going to wait until after second barrier skip to call player 1 back in. So to do second barrier skip, you're just going to come up to this barrier here. You're going to go along with it. On keyboard, you can hold up and right, and then on controller, you just sort of hold an upright angle. And once your ship is past the gray part of the barrier, that's when you're just going to press A to do a side roll. Keep holding forward, and you will make it over the barrier. At this point on controller, once you are a little bit past the second barrier, that is when you can call player 1 back in on controller. On keyboard, it doesn't really matter when you call either player back in. So as you enter the arena, you're going to have both players called in at this point because double VSB is a pretty helpful 1P2C trick that won't take too much effort to do. Like, you can do it with one player, but 2 players just make it a lot more consistent. So you're going to hold down and right with both players as you're doing the double VSB, and you're going to stagger your VSB presses. What I mean by this is that you're going to activate VSB on player 1, then about halfway through the press you're going to activate it on player 2, and then you're going to let go of player 1 and hit it again, and then you're going to let go of player 2 and hit it again, and you'll keep repeating this, trying to stay pretty close to the center but not directly in the center, otherwise you will die to the bombs being VSB'd. If you do this correctly, it should take out the probe droid wave in just a couple of VSBs. It tends to be more consistent than the second wave. However, this is RNG at the end of the day. Now, as the second wave ends, it is identical to the first wave. Ideally, you don't have this AT-AT opening on screen, otherwise he will spawn outside of the arena. You want to be standing in this spot so that you get the ideal manipulation of where the 2 AT-ATs will spawn for this wave, and you can spawn them close together if you stand in the right spot. And if you do this, if they are super close together, you can wrap them both before getting one bomb and then the second bomb. However, if they're not, you're just going to wrap one, and you're just going to grab a bomb, you're going to hop around the arena to the other one. I recommend going to the right, or if, of course, you already saw that there was nothing over to the right, go to the left, but typically going to the right in this situation is better. You're going to drag a bomb to the second one and complete the wave. Now, I don't recommend this strategy, but there is a strategy called Matin wrapping, where if you wrap an AT-AT, you can do it with a certain technique. Doing a flip, basically you want to go perpendicular to the first wrap, hold basically forward and just like away from the AT-AT, and do a 360 to wrap yourself fully into the AT-AT, wrapping it instantly. Now, altogether, these save only around 10 seconds, and they're very inconsistent and difficult to do, mainly just because you'll die while doing them, so it's not really recommended, but it is a strategy you can go for. Now, on the last wave, I just recommend doing this with one player. You're just going to go around, try to take out most of the ATSTs and probe droids before you begin wrapping the AT-AT, otherwise they kind of disperse at the end of the wave, and it becomes a lot harder to find them after you've already wrapped the AT-AT. Grab the bomb, and if there are any extra probe droids or ATSTs, they tend to be like directly to the right of you, and if they're not directly to the right of you, you want to go to the left to look for them. That's about it for Hoth Battle.